Welcome to the Notary Educators with Kimmi YouTube channel. Hosts Kimmi and Jeff Nunnally, along with Alexis Franklin, share expert insights to help you launch and grow a successful mobile notary business, no matter what state you are commissioned in. Learn how to become a top-notch loan signing agent and get answers to common notary questions. Explore our all-inclusive $47 monthly training library, plus live weekly online coaching sessions with courses on general notary work, wedding efficient services, remote online notary, ink fingerprinting, apostille, translation services, and I-9 completion. So please remember that Notary Educators LLC is your one-stop shop for notary training. Now sit back and watch Kimmi and crew, and don't forget to subscribe to the Notary Educators with Kimmi YouTube channel for more tips. Take your notary business to new heights.
Hold on one second. Let's get back to the chat really quick. So Lori W, we said hi. Hey Lisa, how are you? Miss Anita, hi. I saw you join the membership. How are you? Miss Anita, so our first live membership session will be Friday night. We're going to be talking about field inspections, how to add that to your business. Oh, I think it's translation services. I'm sorry, not field inspection. I think it's translation services. Let me see right quick, because I need to be accurate, because somebody's going to say, I thought it was field inspection. Wait a minute, let me just double check Friday night. I think we did field inspection already. And if you missed it, you can always go back and catch the replay. Oh, field inspection is at the end of the month. That's why that's on my mind. Okay, so this coming Friday, we're going to do how to add translation services to your notary business. So there's an actual course on that. And then we're going to deep dive into it so you can actually start adding that service, okay? So translation services. You can buy the course separately if you don't want to be a part of mentorship. All courses are on sale, 60% off. Coupon code is WIN2025. WIN2025 at notaryeducatorsllc.com. So let's get back to our buyer's package. So the buyer's package, how many pages is a buyer's package? I've seen them as small as 20, and as much as 150, okay? As much as 150. So within 150 pages that you do need to print, 90% of the time, occasionally, I did tell you already that the buyer will have their own package, right? So you don't have to do any printing, but most of the time you're going to have to be printing. So I like to just go ahead and give you the worst of the, the actual scenario. So you will be printing that document 2 times, one for you and one for if you have to print it, it's going to be one for the buyer and then one you're going to be sending back to the company. Okay, so somebody asked me in the chat yesterday, I hope they're watching today, why do you need to print 2? Because that is an industry standard to print 2. Now, it depends on what type of document it is, because typically your loan modification packages, they want 2 executed and they want 1 left with the client. If you don't know what execution is, you probably need to be in training, but I'm going to tell you right now because that's how I roll. To execute the documents means to get them signed, basically, okay? But you do need to know that verbiage because you want to sound like a pro. So you don't want, if someone calls you and say, hey, I need to get 2 sets executed, you'd be like, what does that mean? That means they want 2 sets signed and 1 left with the client, or maybe just 2 signed, okay? But that's what the executing of documents is, to make sure they're complete, they're thorough. You're checking for accuracy also, okay? Rashante says, oh, Lori and Lisa just saying hey to each other. Rashante says, that's good information. I will be watching the replay and taking notes. Yes, do that. Take some notes, honey. And Lisa says, welcome to the fam, Miss Anita. Yes, welcome. So, yeah, and again, we'll meet. Hopefully, you'll be able to make it on Friday night to our actual session, okay? And I'll tell you a little bit more about mentorship in a moment. So what else about the buyer's package? Again, so I said about 150 pages would be typically the most. I've had them as many as 180. Now, this is depending on what state the property is being sold. Some states don't require as much as others. Hey, Notary fam, it's Kimmi. I am here to let you know, just in case you have not heard, about the Notary Business Coaching Success Program. We meet weekly. We talk about your notarial duties, how to do an acknowledgement, how to do a jurat, how to administer an oath, everything you've been asking for. And guess what else is included? Unlimited access to all of my trainings that will also include ink fingerprinting, trust/estate documents, learn how to properly execute a trust. Don't forget, we also have the private community, like-minded notaries who have been trained by me. Check out my book that I've written for each state, How to Start Your Notary Business in Alabama, California. You get the point. Wherever you're located, there's a book for your state. Well, hopefully I'll see you soon over in training. Notary Educators, LLC. We got you covered. Bye. Some states require like your whole left leg, okay? And if that's the case, then it will take a little bit longer. Typical number of notarizations in a buyer's package, again, can be anywhere to like 3 up to 10. And that's just depending on what documents are included in the package. And every single package will be different. How much does a typical buyer's package pay when it comes? So if it's direct, that means the client is calling you directly from your Google page or something. And depending on your area again, so I'm in Georgia, I'll just give you a roundabout. California might be $100 difference. Let's say a typical buyer's package anywhere from like $125 to $225, just depending on where you are. Let me see what this says. Hold on. Just depending on where you are located. So, and again, I do ask. And I don't just assume because it's a buyer's package it's going to be 200 pages. I don't assume it's going to be 20 pages. That's why I do still kind of ask my client, well, about how many spaces are there for the notary to sign? Because again, I told you it could be anywhere from 20, 30 pages all the way up to 180. So, you know, the larger the package lets you know how many notarizations and how long it's going to take. All right. So typically buyer's packages, along with all the other ones we're going to discuss and have already talked about, they will require, I'm sorry, Jeffrey needs to come in here. But I am doing my live. Let me see, can I move the camera so you can come in? Hold on one second. Let's do like that. Jeffrey, you can come in for a minute. I moved the camera. So when it comes to doing the buyer's package, though, I was just going to tell you something. I forgot just that quick. He threw me when I had to let him in the room. He's getting ready to cut the grass. For those of you who are interested, right in the middle of my live, you got to come in my office here. You see me working on my thumbnail, a little behind the scenes footage. Got the ring light, my microphone that I hardly ever use. I do use it when I go on the Zooms, though. I do. Fan for when I get hot. Clock, clock, clock. Okay, let's come back around. Okay. So we worked that out. What else about a buyer's package? Oh, scan backs. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, so buyer's packages, it's really important to double check your work before you send back a buyer's package. And typically they want scan backs on that. If you don't know what a scan back is, you will learn that very quickly. And they use those scan backs. You send it back to the hiring company or attorney, whoever needs those documents. And they'll use those documents to actually facilitate the closing on the other end. So sometimes, for example, that's why time is so important. If you have a signing, it's at 4 o'clock and they say, hey, we need them docs back by 5. They need it back by that time that they tell you so they can use the documents for the next business day. They may not always wait on the originals to get back or the wet signed copy. Okay. So if you want more information about becoming a notary signing agent, I will refer you to my new book, Become a Notary Signing Agent. It's not that complicated. You can find it at notaryeducatorsllc.com under the book collection. And also this comes in an ebook, and this is the paperback version. Or you can check out the whole long signing class, which is really great. And it will give you a whole deep dive into everything. That is over at the website, or it's also included in mentorship, okay? Couple more comments here. I think I got everybody's comments. Yeah, so what are we talking about today? What questions do you have for me while I am here live? And while I'm here, somebody asked me in the comments the other day about the journal They were like, you don't have a purple one. But of course I got a purple one.